Did you breastfeed as a kid?
Did I breastfeed? I didn't lactate.
No, did we?
Was I
No,
breastfed?
that's the right word. Yeah.
Was I breastfed? I'm gonna imagine I was.
I think I was as well, but I want to say either me or my sister was allergic to titty milk.
Oh.
Yeah, tough spot to be in.
Well, do you think that it's like...
I'm gonna call my mum.
Call your mama.
Hello.
You're on Grifter of the Week.
I've claimed that I was allergic to your milk. Is this correct?
No, Amy was allergic.
Oh.
Right.
I couldn't make enough milk for you.
Oh, hungry
Really?
boy.
Really? All right. Well, I wanted to get to the bottom of
I didn't
that.
have enough milk for you. It was Amy that's allergic to my milk.
Right.
Are you recording what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I sound horrible on record.
No,
though.
you sound beautiful.
All right.
Thank you, look them. Sorry, Caleb.
God, that hurts. Ban 1080! Now! So we're here recording, and a whole bunch of protesters have gathered outside the building. They've barricaded the exits. We can't get out. We're forced to just sit in here and record. 1080. Terrible. So this is probably the most like localized topic that we've done so far. Like 95% of the world's supply of 1080 is used in New Zealand.
Is that really?
Yeah, the 5% of it's used in Australia to kill like really vicious animals.
Right.
But the rest of it is all ours, baby. If you're not from New Zealand, you're probably thinking, what the hell are all these angry people yelling about? What's ban 1080? What is 1080? I'm here to tell you. 1080 is a poison that New Zealand uses as a pest control, primarily to kill, I think, bush-tailed possums.
Oh, I thought they were gathering outside the No Leavings. Those brand new 4K TVs.
Yeah, right. They've decided that only 4K is acceptable from now on.
It's 2021. YouTube has said that 720p is no longer HD.
Yeah.
Time to get rid of 1080.
So basically, we need to do a brief New Zealand history lesson.
Sure.
We basically have a lot of native birds and lizards, and we've got a bunch of native wildlife that, because New Zealand is so like isolated in the middle of fucking nowhere in the climate that it is, they basically evolved absolutely no way to defend themselves whatsoever.
Yeah, like the kiwi is like...
It's just the shittest bird.
It's a fat little flightless
Yeah.
bird. It's like less defense mechanisms than a chicken.
So not only kiwis though, like tuataras, kias, like pretty much every animal that's like native to this country just sucks at surviving in an environment with any predators at all.
They didn't have cats, right?
No, there was nothing. There was no like, it was a...
Maybe Gareth Morgan was right.
Honestly, yeah. Gareth Morgan has a point. But the colonizers come over and they bring pests.
White people.
Yeah, all of the bad pests, the possums.
The Karens.
Yeah. Sorry, Mom.
Has she ever expressed like...
I've never really talked to her about it. My mom isn't a Karen in the typical sense.
She's not at all. And I'd be deeply upset if like to be a Joel was to be like a wanker or something.
So the white people brought the animals over that kill all of our native animals. We have to now, as a result of that, mass poison the animals that we brought over in an attempt to control the population.
To save all our native birds.
Yeah, so...
Because people's main thing, if I remember correctly, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead here or not, is that the dogs eat it.
It's really hard to pin down what the main thing of it is, because the more I've looked into this, the more I've found that everybody who wants to ban 1080 has their own like weird angle. Like it's
Do
not
they have like an alternate poison they want to sell? Or?
interesting that you
Is
fucking
that
interesting that you fucking say that, man.
It's always so easily transparent.
Yeah.
Like, it's like when fucking Christchurch happened and the owner of Gun City was like, I don't know, I think we should just wait it out. It's like, thanks, man. We all give a fuck about what you have to say about gun control, you dickhead.
Okay, so basically going all the way back to like even the 80s, you can find people who are very upset with the government's use of 1080 in our country.
Was 1080 going back to the 80s?
Yeah, 1080's old.
I thought it was like some 2010 shit.
No, the drama surrounding it seems to only be escalating to a point where like right now is like the height of 1080's. Like,
really?
It's escalating. Like it's crazy. It's not slowing down. The first question that we need to clear up before we go on is 1080 bad or is 1080 good?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to waste your guys' time. 1080 is good. If you think that 1080 is bad, you're dumb. If you're already at a point where government research and like peer-reviewed papers and is not enough, they just keep spam releasing like, no, 1080 doesn't do this. No, 1080 does not do this.
Is it like that it is good or is that
It's not that it's good. It's that there is no alternative.
Right. It's this or the fantails go.
Yeah, exactly. It's this or there's no kiwis, bro. Like you have to choose one. So yeah, that's the 1080 debate fucking closed. Now we're going to be talking about the ban 1080 movement because that's the part that I actually find interesting. This show's called Grifter of the Week. week, and that means that I have to qualify this group as being grifters. I'm going to probably mention a couple of names, but I just want you to know that there is no one person responsible for ban 1080. It is a hive mind, a really stupid hive mind, like a hive mind in a coma is, is what we're dealing with here.
Right.
Let's start with the baby formula, shall we? I was actually working at Pack and Save when this happened, so I remember it fairly well, but I just remember being a very confused 15-year-old boy. And what had happened is an anonymous threat was sent to Fonterra and the other big farming company.
Good to only have two of them.
Yes, it is.
So that in cases like this, all you have to do is email one cunt and shut down the entire country.
Anonymous threats were sent to Fonterra saying that if they did not stop the use of 1080 poison, that babies in the country en masse would be poisoned by baby formula that had been laced with 1080.
What would happen if a baby would ingest 1080?
They would die.
Stupid question.
If you ingested it, you would die.
I don't think so.
Well, you actually have to ingest quite a lot, actually.
I'm too strong. Although I am allergic to fucking cheese, so maybe not.
Well, yeah, I was working at Pack and Save at the time, and I remember there just being this massive freak out around baby formula.
Yeah.
And, like, all the baby formula got pulled off the shelves, and the whole country was freaking out about baby formula. The police arrested a 60-year-old man, Jeremy Hamish Kerr.
Jeremy Hamish Wanker, that's an easy one.
Who pleaded guilty to 2 charges of blackmail and was sentenced to 8 years, 6 months of imprisonment. Kerr had a...
It's not bad for threatening every baby in New Zealand.
Yes,
Whose
but also...
mums don't breastfeed them, I guess.
I mean, like, blackmail's kind of a weird crime, though, because, like,
Yeah.
you're not really doing anything, but you definitely are.
Does he have a financial stake in the game?
Did Kerr develop a rival brand of poison called Ferritox and made these threats for financial gain, hoping that that they would all switch from 1080 to his rival brand of poison?
3840.
In 2004, so this is before the baby formula incident, anti-1080 activist Philip Anderton posed for the New Zealand media with a kiwi he claimed had been poisoned. An investigation revealed that Anderton had lied to journalists and the public. He had used a kiwi that he'd found caught in a possum trap.
That's that's perfect, because you literally found a kiwi that's a victim to the thing that 1080 is like trying to solve.
And also, so trapping is like a really commonly brought up alternative to 1080.
Those things are fucking brutal. Did you ever see those videos?
No.
Oh god, they're horrific.
Of animal traps.
Yeah.
Like what do you mean?
Just the possum traps they put out in the forest and shit.
Have you ever shot a possum or anything?
No, never shot a living creature.
Oh, good for you. So basically, you have this guy who's posing for New Zealand press with this kiwi that he took from a possum trap.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Which was put there in absence of the poison that he is trying to get rid of. And I suppose he's just holding up like a mangled fucking kiwi, and he's like, look at what 1080 does. Bless you, brother. My question is this guy holding up this fucking mangled kiwi responsible for his actions and no one else's? Or should we look at ban 1080 and go, hold on a second?
Yeah, you guys should fucking chill out.
I'll let you reserve judgment again as we move on to the next guy.
Right.
In 1995,
Jeez Louise.
this is a long time ago. This is well
I wasn't
before
even born.
No, I was but a gleam in Gary's eye. Basically, at gunpoint, a helicopter that was doing a 1080 spray was hijacked by this man, and he flew it with hostages. Let me get the
Oh my
full-
god, this guy's playing GTA.
Yeah, he is. Here we go. A man who once hijacked a helicopter at gunpoint to protest against aerial drops of the poison 1080 has died of cancer. Chris Short died at Tuesday at 51.
Chris, life too short.
A keen hunter, Mr. Short, blamed his kidney cancer on his exposure to 1080, which is not true, which is used by the Department of Conservation and other agencies to control possums. Last August, he staged a 6-night vigil on Mount Tongariro, demanding that an anti-1080 documentary be shown on television. He then served 8 months of a 2-year prison before being let out.
Right.
He did hold the helicopter crew at gunpoint for 5 days on top of the mountain.
That's pretty bad.
So,
God, fuck that.
here's my question to you again, Joel.
Yeah.
This man in 1995 who's hijacked a helicopter, 5 people, and flown them to the top of a mountain.
Yeah.
Is he solely responsible for this, or is it the ban 1080 movement?
Yeah, I'm starting to think that you want me to say it's the movement's fault.
Well,
I'm getting warmer.
Can you see how, like, comparing this to, like, one fucking, like, protester doing some crazy shit, not being,
Yeah,
like...
it's the pattern, for sure.
But it is interesting to note that this man who flew a helicopter full of 5 people on top of the mountain and kept them there for 5 days got 8 months of prison time.
Yeah, the
And the
blackmail
guy who
yeah.
threatened every baby in New Zealand got 8 years.
People love babies. Threatening to kill them usually sours one's opinion of you.
I just feel like if I were one of those people in the helicopter,
Yeah,
and
like, what the fuck?
I'd be like, 8 months?
Yeah.
This guy flew me up a mountain, man,
Yeah.
for 5 days.
That would be terrifying.
5 days. Well, I think it would be terrifying, but by like day 4. You know,
Well, yeah.
you're like, fuck, just kill me.
Come on.
Just kill me or show this documentary at this point. For
Yeah.
fuck's sake, I don't want to be on Mount Tongariro anymore.
Yeah.
You also have, I was reading a couple articles about how people were leaving pellets of 1080 outside the Department of Conservation, as if to like frame the Department of Conservation for just randomly leaving
Like,
fucking
shit.
poison around.
Oh shit, all this 1080 pellets came out of my pockets.
Yeah, I think that what they would have hoped is
Yeah.
like some kid would come along and eat it,
Right.
and then it would be traced to the Department of Conservation, and then
Sure.
1080 would get banned. But again, these fucking people, what it takes for them is like a kid dying, and like that's why it's so confusing to me, and I don't trust it, because if it were just about the animals, I'd get it, but it's not. It's a bunch of angry white old people in New Zealand who don't give a fuck about animals at all. So what other angles can you take from it, right? So you've got the
Profiting from it.
I'm selling my own poison. How else can you profit from Ban 1080?
Becoming like a niche celebrity, I guess.
Yeah, so that's like the main other one is it's a massive fucking industry. Like
Yeah.
this is
Books,
books, merchandise, it's a community.
podcast.
And like honestly, the merchandise sales for like Band 1080 alone is like fucking insane.
Did he have any stake with the documentary?
No, he just really wanted everyone to see it.
I'm gonna do that, but for prisoners.
Prisoners.
Yeah,
You just want everyone to be more cultured.
The fucking Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
Well, I remember, here's a story. One time, I think this was last year, I got into an Uber, finishing my shift at McDonald's late at night. I got into the Uber and there was like a screen between me and the driver. And this was pre-COVID. So maybe it was the year before last. And on the back of the seat was a screen that as soon as I sat down, turned on. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess there's like TVs in this Uber. Like, that's kind of fucking dope. And it auto starts playing a video and there's no like interface to like switch between videos or anything like that. I'm like, okay, I guess like it's playing me a little movie.
Yeah.
And the movie's like, fluoride in our water.
yeah.
Our waterways are being infested by the government with fluoride, and here's what you can do about it. And I've got, this might be like an 18-minute drive
Yeah, you're fucked.
to my fucking house
We should bribe Uber drivers
to play Grifter of the
play
Week.
Grifter of the Week.
I agree.
That'd be so funny.
But what I think is really interesting is that he installed the screen
Yeah.
because he knows that he's like kidnapping the enforcing. Like he, if that screen wasn't there, I'd go, hey,
Yeah.
turn this fucking propaganda off. I'm just trying to drive home.
That's
so he
so
knows.
funny.
So
He's
he
got
fucking
you.
soundproofs me into this room with the fucking
Yeah.
floor. And you know what the worst part of it is?
What?
I don't know if fluoride's good anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fluoride might be bad.
He got you.
He might have gotten me, man.
Yeah.
It's enough to at least put doubt in my head because I watched I watched
Yeah.
the whole thing. I couldn't help it.
Just sitting there with your eyes closed.
And I think that like the Uber brainwash is like a really smart play,
It's a good
and we
play.
should do it for more things.
So Caleb, that was a great segment.
Thank you.
Well structured.
Yeah.
Succinct.
Thanks.
I learned something new.
Yeah.
Had some laughs along the way. I, however, have not had much time. So I've thrown this together in a couple of hours.
Mm-hmm.
And so the structure of my segment is really about stretching out the time.
Yeah.
Even this preamble is designed to shave
Yeah.
some precious seconds off the top. So in the
I was feeling guilty about dragging the 1080 segment.
so in the spirit of that, why don't we play a little game called Guess the Grifter?
Edit me out me going and put in like a jingle for Guess the Grifter.
Maybe.
All right.
Another day at work, eh?
So
Just filing all these reports here, and the paper's a bit loose. I should maybe attach these all together. I'll get my stapler out. I can't believe this. Someone has put my stapler in gelatin.
oh,
I can't believe this.
are you talking about the UK or the US right now?
Well, this is Guess the Grifter. What am
Okay,
I
well,
giving you?
I can tell that this
see-
is
I
related
get
to The
what-
Office.
Okay,
Somebody's...
that's clue number one. That's clue number one, okay? Someone's put my stapler in gelatin. I bet you I know who it is. I'm gonna go over to their desk and see what... Oh my God. Open on their screen is a CIA plan to indoctrinate youths by normalizing their war crimes in popular culture.
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
Krasinski.
Or, as I've kind of clickbaited the title, Jim from The Office.
Jim.
But it's not about Jim from The Office as a character, it's about John Krasinski. But before we get into that, in my research, I came across some fun facts. And if you'd indulge me, I'd like to read them out to you.
Wow, educate me.
John Krasinski's directorial debut was a film called Brief Interviews with Hideous Men. And while the movie received okay reviews, I personally hate the film, as now I have to rename the documentary I was making about Caleb's ex-boyfriends.
Here's the thing. That is a funny joke.
Yeah.
I just like to make it clear.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of true.
What are we...
It's not about how attractive I am. It's about how attractive I am to the gay community.
You're right, that is true.
Moving on.
A Quiet Place received criticism from viewers who thought that the plotline of Emily Blunt getting pregnant during a sound-sensitive apocalypse was unrealistic, as anybody with any logical foresight would just use a condom or pull out. I disagree with this, however, as I have seen what Emily Blunt looks like. What are you, crazy? John Krasinski met with several employees at different paper companies to research his role as Jim Halpert in The Office. He even filmed a visit he took through Scranton, Pennsylvania, and his footage actually ended up in the show's opening credits. He tried to do this again in preparation for his role as CIA agent Jack Ryan, but unfortunately his footage of an innocent was a little too shaky.
Oh, no.
Let's be really clear. We're accusing him of being a CIA asset, and let's justify that really quickly, okay? So John Krasinski stars as a CIA agent in the series Jack Ryan, and here's what he has to say about that.
The coolest thing ever for me. I mean, I totally nerded out when we got to the CIA. I think I probably embarrassed myself, and I'm sure they have it on tape. So they were the most unbelievably generous, kind, smart people, and more than just learning about their life in the field, I got to hear about how it weighs upon a marriage, how it weighs upon families. How do you keep going as a person, not only an officer? So I owe them everything. I really do. The CIA is something that we should all not only cherish, but be saying thank you every single day.
Keeping in mind that there is a Wikipedia page called Human Rights Violations by the CIA.
Yeah. I was
that features only confirmed information, absolutely no conspiracy theories at all, only confirmed, verifiable facts about the CIA's actions, that sits at over 12,000 words.
Jesus.
What is your take on John being like a CIA propagandist?
I'm glad you've said that, because hearing him talk about how not only did he get to learn about the CIA, but he got to learn about the weight that the CIA has on families.
Yeah, it really stresses you out.
It stresses me out, man.
I mean, the day I came home after assassinating Martin Luther King in order to stop black people from liberating themselves.
Well, yeah.
I laid my head down on that pillow, and it really took a toll on me, man.
If you could be so kind as to take a quick break from, assassinating minority leaders, as to teach this fucking white guy that we've brought in some cool kung fu CIA moves on the deal that he'll suck off our agency. Yeah. Seriously, if you're listening to this, seriously, just Google the CIA once. One time.
I was going to include a top list of the crazy shit she had. There's just no point.
No.
Anytime a socialist government pops up, the CIA's done something fucking crazy to shut them down. Assassinating.
Just pulling people off the street and never being seen again.
I'm not going to get into it. Just Google what the CIA has done. You can come up with your own conclusions as to whether or not the CIA is a good or necessary thing. But John Krasinski definitely directly profits off of propagating them as a good thing. And I personally disagree. That's why he's here as a grifter. He also has some other grifts.
Yes, he does.
But I'm setting up the CIA thing to turn you, because he's such a lovable guy, so that when I get into the more passable stuff.
Yeah, we don't want people wondering, well, are they not going to mention the CIA stuff?
Well, that, and also I'm trying to poison the well so that when I accuse him of copying movies, you're more on my side than his. Because I absolutely am aware that everyone loves Jim from The Office.
Yes.
And no one gives a fuck what I think. So now that I've poisoned the well with his CIA
you've poisoned
antics,
the waterways.
I've got 3 examples here of John Krasinski.
Is it plagiarism?
Yeah, just stealing.
Good.
Just stealing
Good.
ideas. So, John Krasinski did not write the first drafts, but he does have a writing credit on a film called A Quiet Place. So, he had to have known that the script that he did a pass on before he directed it, which was written by 2 other people, was stolen, so blatantly, because I watched both of them, by the way.
There's a little girl in it who
book
has the same health problems.
So the book features a little girl who has a hearing disability. She's deaf. And because she's deaf, her entire family knows sign language, which means that they can navigate a new world dominated by silence.
Yeah.
In this apocalypse where these monsters that hunt via sound and are blind.
Yeah.
That's such a specific idea.
Yeah, I'd definitely say.
So the script, even if it's parallel thinking, the script which came after the book has to have, it just copied that
Definitely.
book. It has to be. I'll indict them right now.
Do we know what that book's called?
It's called The Silence.
Okay.
After that, they make an adaptation of The Silence, and people accuse that film of copying A Quiet Place,
yeah,
right?
God.
Maybe I'm just dumb or whatever. I haven't seen people really talking about the fact that John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are the stars of A Quiet Place, but Stanley Tucci is the star of The Silence, right?
Yeah.
Stanley Tucci is married to a woman by the name of Felicity Blunt, Emily Blunt's sister.
Oh!
So it's plausible that they were all having some sort of family dinner, and John Krasinski was like, what are you working on at the moment. And Stanley's like, well, it's this movie where there's this like deaf girl and I like survived the apocalypse with her. And John Krasinski had to be like, what? Like he had to have known about it.
John's like, hold on, let me just grab a pen real quick.
There's just no way that he was not aware of the silence. He's literally related to the star of the film, okay? Here is where my hot take comes in. Did John Krasinski steal A Quiet Place from The Silence? Absolutely. Is A Quiet Place a really good film and The Silence one of the worst I've ever seen? Yes. I would rather live in a world where A Quiet Place exists than that it doesn't exist. But he did absolutely steal the idea.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Also, A Quiet Place features the deaf girl in that movie is actually deaf.
Whereas
in The Silence, it's just some chick.
Okay.
Although...
Well, no, but we can say that... Okay, great.
She does have tinnitus, and I have tinnitus. So, that's one point.
Do you want to explain what tinnitus is?
Tinnitus is just an absolutely undiagnosable condition where you have a violently loud ringing in your ears. You've seen Baby Driver, it's what he has.
I want to go to Halloween one year as the guy who saw Baby Driver last week.
Yeah.
Not the guy from Baby Driver.
No.
But the guy who saw Baby Driver a week ago and was like, yes.
Fuck yeah.
And he's got sunglasses on and he's got earphones in all of the time. And if you're trying to talk to him, he like takes one of them out to fucking talk to you.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about driving movies, but like guys that watch Drive, the Ryan Gosling film, become that guy. We should both go to Halloween. You go as Baby Driver, I'll go as Driver.
Yeah.
And we'll see
Baby
how many
Driver.
women we can lose friendships with.
Yeah.
John is also one of the co-creators and main producers of Lip Sync Battle.
Ah, yes. Oh, wow.
Here's the thing. Is Lip Sync Battle just a drag show for straight people? Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, undeniably, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, lip sync competitions are like a thing, but like the way the show's formatted, the fact that they do often cross-dress on the show, the way it's structured is just the same as drag shows.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is just lip syncing a song.
And it's also like watching fucking like Steve Buscemi saying "Oops, I did it again."
Yeah. To just really boil it down to, hey, I recognize that guy and I recognize that song.
Yeah.
But they're not singing the song.
No.
They just I hate lip syncing, man.
Well,
lip syncing as a form of entertainment is terrible. And like to remove it from like the community aspect of drag culture, there just is no value in celebrities lip syncing.
I've been to a couple lip sync shows before.
Yeah.
It is like a performance, right? Like,
yeah, sure.
It's still a dance at the very least.
At the very least,
it's a choreographed dance, which is like a difficult thing to do.
I'm absolutely not taking away the like community and cultural aspect of drag shows that lip sync. I will say I have been to a drag show where they did just genuinely sing.
That would be better. That would be a lot better.
So the host did proper good stand up, and then the queens genuinely sang and danced.
Yeah.
And I liked it, and it was good. I'm going to make it very clear: drag queens are fine by me. Lip syncing can go fuck itself. I was watching lip sync battles in fucking primary school. One time, this kid did like a 15-minute set of Michael Jackson, dressed up as Michael Jackson, danced like Michael Jackson.
You got to wonder how that kid feels about Michael Jackson now.
Yeah.
That would suck, wouldn't it?
To have footage of you. Imagine if there's just footage of you dressed up as Bill Cosby doing stand-up.
Yeah.
For a fucking talent show.
To a fucking audience of game developers.
Yeah. The final grift of John Krasinski, and I'd like to thank you for carrying this next segment for me.
You're welcome. I'll do it for you.
John Krasinski pulled off probably one of the craziest heists in entertainment history that I've ever seen, right? So what he did is he made a show during quarantine called Some Good News, and the show is a new show populated with only good news. Now,
it's got some celebrities on it.
Heaps of celebrities. Now,
got Brad Pitt doing the weather segment.
Not only is that as an idea, so it was unoriginal when SourceFed was doing it like a decade ago.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing.
All he's doing is like taking aggregate sites like BuzzFeed or like that have like...
Yeah, there are websites out there that are like an aggregate of goodnews.com and fucking Jim from The Office literally cites them.
He just reads them out loud.
As his source. He's like, they've collected a whole bunch of news stories so I don't have to, and then I just rip them off.
But the value that show was incredibly popular.
People loved it.
Because it was populated by Jim from The Office, fucking Steve Carell, Oprah, Oprah, Brad Pitt was the weatherman on the show, right?
It was massive.
That's the value, right? He sold the show to a network, and then he was like, and by the way, I'm not going to host it.
Yes, exactly.
Or be involved with it at all, really. So the only thing he actually sold was the idea of a news show called Some Good News, which is a show named...
Oh, I'm going to put him at number one, man. You're making me so angry. I'm already like Jim from The Office is number one. I fucking hate John Krasinski, man.
Because the idea of Some Good News is the most deeply unoriginal one that he's stolen by far.
Right. To start a good news network in the middle of a pandemic.
He started it, you know that month where they had the
Where the world ended? Yeah, I remember that month.
George Floyd happened.
Yeah.
And we were in quarantine. And so there was this whole thing with like people protesting, but also COVID's going around.
Yep.
It's a complex situation to navigate. Should people be protesting? Absolutely. Is there also a pandemic and it's kind of unsafe if they're out there? Absolutely.
Yep.
Very complicated time to navigate the news and what is right and what is wrong.
Yes.
So here's a polar bear sucking itself off.
Exactly.
Isn't that funny? Now, would I watch a video of a polar bear sucking itself off? Yes. But then I would go and investigate the rest of the news.
It's about how you frame the news. Instead of saying climate disaster is going to kill the entire planet in fucking a month, you say this country is leading the charge against our entire planet being destroyed by the climate. Here's what they're doing, and here's what other countries are not doing.
Absolutely.
Like, you can frame news to be positive and like not depressing without recklessly abandoning the idea that we should do anything about the world.
There are so many good news shows on YouTube.
How do you feel about like corporations moving into like YouTube?
I don't like it, but if someone wants to buy Grifter of the Week, and by the way, Caleb, you might think to yourself, Joel, you can't just sell Grifter of the Week because then now I've got this fucking job that I want. Don't worry about it. We don't have to actually...
we don't have to show up.
We don't have to write the show. We don't have to host the show. All we have to do is executive produce. We can sell the name, Grifter of the Week, and the concept that two people pitch grifters to each other, and then we just don't have to do this fucking show anymore.
For some reason, I don't think that this is relevant.
I'm sorry, but I'd love to see fucking like Paul Henry and Di Henwood pitching grifters to each other on some like terrible corporate version of the show. Paul Henry, he goes, today's grifters, Indian people's last names. And then Di Henwood goes, my grifter this week, people over 5'3".
Here's what I imagine if he sold it to the network and did actually still work on it, it sort of going like. It would be like, welcome to Some Good News. I'm your host, Johnson Krasinski. In last week's breaking news, the CIA solve another communist crisis overseas.
Moving on, here to talk about the Blizzard Activision lawsuit, Bill Cosby. So, Caleb, in conclusion, Jim from The Office, bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
His involvement with the CIA, less than pleasant.
Yes.
His track record of producing film and television, deeply inspired by others, we'll say. And his wife, beautiful.
Right.
Have you seen Edge of Tomorrow?
Yeah, you're going to talk about the press up that she does?
By golly. Now, is my girlfriend way cooler and more beautiful than Emily Blunt? Absolutely. And I love her so much.
Yes.
But Emily Blunt is really hot. And you can't take that away from Jim.
No, but
props for you, Jim. So how do we go about ranking these?
I'm literally going to vote right now to put Jim at the top.
You're going to put Jim over
Australia,
the anti-vax guy.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I hate him.
I'm not. I can't agree.
Okay, that's fair enough. We can settle. We can negotiate, but I won't have him in the lower half of the list.
I'm going to put him
probably just under Elon, right?
I think between Mark Zuckerberg and Dr. Penny Patterson. So
okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
Dr. Penny Patterson, Jim from The Office, Mark Zuckerberg.
And then we've got the Ban 1080 party.
Yeah,
who have hijacked a helicopter, threatened every baby in New Zealand.
I reckon we put them just below Jim.
I think we put him just above Ace Family. And the only reason that it's not worse is because it hasn't really broken out to be an international issue.
Well, thank you all for listening.
Thank you for tuning in.
You can find me everywhere at Probably Not Joel. Although I did a bit of a vanity search of my username to see what comes up because
who's Billy Mitchell now?
I'm deeply concerned with my real identity being fucking leaked. However, I thought I was the only one, and you're not going to believe me. I thought I was the only one that used the username at Probably Not Joel.
Who?
There's a fucking, and they've only used it once, which is so damning.
Yeah.
Listen, you can just think I'm lying, right? Someone has signed up for an anime forum with the username, I promise you it's not me.
An anime forum?
With the username Probably Not Joel.
What do you mean an anime forum?
I don't know. It's an anime website. I didn't fucking look into it that much.
If you're probably not
But the thing is, I'm the only Probably Not Joel on Instagram, Twitter,
Yeah,
everywhere.
I've looked as well. Yeah.
If you want to find me on any platform, it's probably not Joel. If you're on a website and there's a probably not Joel, odds are it's me, except for exclusively this one anime website. And I'm
Yeah.
begging you to believe me.
Yeah.
Caleb, where can they find you?
Well, sorry. Look, you've managed to now lay the groundwork for people to find your identity when it leaks,
Yeah.
and the only part of your username that you're embarrassed about, you've managed to form a perfect defense for. You came in, you're like, oh, I'm worried about people finding my identity. Just in case people do, the anime stuff is not me.
Well, I know. That's why I said that. I 100% expect everyone to think that I'm lying.
All right.
That's fine. I swear to God, name someone and I'll swear on their life.
Hold on. What's your favorite anime?
What is my favorite anime?
Probably seen more Naruto than you've seen anything else.
Yeah.
You've probably seen like one episode total of Dragon Ball,
Yeah.
and then like no other anime, right?
Yeah, like I've seen, thank you.
God, I envy you.
Yeah, I've seen like a couple of Sasuke arcs in Naruto because I watched it with Caleb and friend of the show, Lachlan.
Anyway, happy grifting, everyone.
Happy grifting.